up, all my fight fans? This Saturday, we got ourselves a big boxing pay-per-view event. We got ourselves Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Guys, I can't tell you how happy that I am this fight is actually coming into fruition. I can't tell you how happy I am this fight is finally coming together. Guys, I mean, look at the years that we've been having boxing and the fights that end up falling out, the fights that we couldn't get, the people that did not want to fight each other. It's just been so much chaos in the boxing world. It's been very disappointing for us real big boxing fans. I was a big boxing fan before I was an MMA fan. I really enjoyed boxing. I enjoyed the times of the De La Hoyas, the Mayweathers, the Pacquiaos, the Marquezes, the Miguel Cottos, even Canelo Alvarez's back in the earlier days. I enjoyed all those. Even earlier days, I watched earlier fights with Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. There's just so many epic fights that happen. And why? Because all these fighters want to fight each other. All these fighters want to prove that they were the very best in their weight division or in their weight class or in their time. They want to always show everybody that, hey, I am better than you and I'm going to prove it. Not just by saying it, not just by trying to stay undefeated, not by just trying to fight here and there, maybe this guy, this person, and not really test my skill and test my skill level or whatnot. These guys really went out at it, and this is what this fight reminds me of. This fight reminds me of that. This fight reminds me of, like, hey, if you're undefeated, don't matter, go against the best. Hey, if you're on top of the world and you're the best in your weight class, don't matter, go against the best. It's always that. It's always gonna be like that. Sure, you can't always fight killers in your path and in your career, but you always got to put up really good challenges. You always got to fight the top 5. You always got to go against the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth best. It doesn't matter. And then you do it in the next class and the next class. That's how you are remembered. And this is what this fight does for me. Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, I just cannot wait. So let's break this fight down, shall we? We've been waiting a long time for this fight. It's been about 3 years in the making, and now it's finally here. It's coming together Saturday. So how is Gervonta Davis going to win? Well, Gervonta Davis is a really, really skilled brawler, I guess you could say, because he has boxing skills. His output, if you really look at him, he really doesn't throw a whole lot of punches. He really doesn't go out there and just spray and pray and just goes a bunch of there and he just tries to bang with you. He doesn't necessarily do that, even though in some sense he does. He is a very powerful puncher. He's a very accurate puncher. He doesn't throw a lot of punches like I was just saying, but when he throws his punches, he actually connects. I think his percentage and connection is like 48 or 46, something around that level. And then I think he doesn't throw as much. I think he throws like 38% of his punches and such like that. But when he throws, he connects. He is very, very strong and very powerful. Gervonta Tank Davis has been in there with a lot of great competitors. I remember when I saw him fight against Yuri I can never say his name, Gamboa. Pretty much say his last name, Gamboa. Then we saw what he was able to do to Leo Santa Cruz. He was able to do a few other guys, go in there. Rolly Romero was actually another great fun one that he had. No, he really did not fight any top 5 opponents. He really didn't fight anybody with like that tremendous skill, like a Devin Haney, like a you got Jesus Carras, or not, excuse me, Carras. I'm drawing a blank on their name. Lomachenko is obviously one of them in the division. One of them in the division. Unfortunately he is not really. He's already booked up, but he wasn't fighting around that time frame. And then there was a few other fighters out there. I could name a few of them, but right now I'm not. I'm just drawing a blank on a couple of their names. Shakur Stevenson has just made up his name in there too. There's been a lot of good names up there. Teofimo Lopez. There's been a lot of great talent that he could have faced, but unfortunately he's been facing some of the other talent, which is no problem. No problem. He's building up his skill, but this is, to me personally, one of the biggest fights that he could possibly face and one of the biggest challenges that he could face in Ryan Garcia. But how can he win? Well, he has to get in the inside personally, because he is the smaller guy. He is probably, I think I want to say 5'4", 5'5", 5'6", around that height frame, maybe even smaller. You never know. But yeah, he is going to be the much more smaller fighter going in there, and he's not going to have as much long reach as Ryan Garcia has. He's going to have to try his best to get on the inside. He's going to have to use some footwork. He's going to have to use some feints. He's going to have to set up some traps for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is definitely going to like to throw strikes and Javante is a great, like I said, counter striker and a very accurate one at best. But he's gonna have to do his best to get in the inside. He cannot be on the outside. He cannot be standing out there waiting for Ryan Garcia to hit him, waiting for Ryan Garcia to get off. He has to try his best to get off first, and he has to go in there and do everything he can do to make it into a really dirty dogfight. He might have to actually throw a lot more punches than he's actually used to doing, and definitely go to that body. He's gonna have to go to the body and slow Ryan Garcia down. He's gonna have to make Ryan Garcia really think like, hey, is he gonna go for the body or is he gonna go for the head? And he has to take advantage of the fact that Ryan Garcia does punch with his chin just a tad bit up. You know, he does punch. When he punches, you can see it. Even when he trains, his chin is just a little bit up. So he might want to use some of those overhands. If you can catch him with that overhand, that might be able to be a good way to put him away. You never know. So that's going to be a very interesting one. A very interesting fact that could be potentially a stoppage for Gervonta Tank Davis if he's able to land some of those overhands, and if he could keep Ryan Garcia guessing with the body shots, with the feints, with the movement, and with the fact that he's going to possibly throw a lot more punches than probably Ryan Garcia is probably even used to. So that's one way Gervonta Davis can actually win. Now, if he does win, what do you think is going to be next? Well, I think Gervonta is actually staying in this division. I cannot see him moving up any further. I cannot see him going up to 140. I know he's flirted a little bit at 140 a little bit, and he had even talks at 147, but at the end of the day, he's just way too small for that division. Some of these guys, imagine putting him in there against someone like Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. The size is just completely different. Even if he's strong, even if he's powerful, these guys are much more stronger. So I cannot see them. But there's just so much action in the lightweight division. Like I said, you just got a great up and comer in Shakur Stevenson, who is making a big name for himself in the lightweight division. He's already had a fight, and he's ready to take on more people. You already got Devin Haney versus Lomachenko later on in May. That's going to be a great fighter. And hey, the winner of that fight could face the winner of this fight. Could be another great pay-per-view fight for itself as well. That could be 100%. I'm looking forward to that if that does come into fruition as well. Because like I said, you got Devin Haney, you got Lomachenko, you got Ryan Garcia, you got Gervonta Tank Davis. You match any one of these guys up in any style you want, and it's going to be one hell of a fight. Guaranteed. So that's my pick for that, Ryan, for Gervonta and everything like that. That's where I feel when it comes to Gervonta, whether he could win and what could possibly happen if he, how he can win and what happens if he does win. Now, what if he loses? Well, it's no shame at all. Like again, he can still potentially possibly do a rematch. I'm not sure what the contracts are. You never know. There could possibly be potential rematch clause in those, but then you never know. There really wasn't discussed, but I'm pretty sure all that's private. Or he could go out there and face somebody else. There's still quite a few other opponents that he could be going against. He could face the loser of Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Or he could face potentially Shakur Stevenson. Gervonta is not going to lose his star power. He is still a very big star in the boxing world, including the lightweight division. He is still a big name. He has still a big following. So if he just so happens to lose this fight, it's really not going to be the end of the world for Gervonta. I personally really do not feel that. He is still a big star, and he is still a big name in the lightweight division, and there is no shame in losing, guys. We really got to get off this kick like, oh, he's no longer undefeated. He's not that big of a name no more. No, I promise you, it's not going to do anything. Not going to do anything. You might lose leverage in negotiations, sure, but at the end of the day, you're still a big star. You're still going to be able to do call some shots, and you're still going to be able to have some really big fights. That's my personal opinion. Now, as for Ryan Garcia, how can Ryan Garcia win? Ryan Garcia is the taller opponent. Ryan Garcia has the longer reach advantage. I do feel Ryan Garcia might be a little bit more faster than Gervonta. So what Ryan Garcia needs to do is keep himself on the outside. He cannot really go in there and brawl and spray and pray with Gervonta, because Gervonta is actually very smart. Gervonta can actually really good counterpunch. Gervonta's very accurate as well. So what Ryan needs to do is keep on the outside, use his jab, use his striking, use his uses jab, uses really good boxing skill, and uses really good footwork to try to keep himself on the outside, to not let Gervonta Davis get too comfortable on the inside. When he gets on the inside, you got to really do your best to circle out, move out, and constantly keep Gervonta really chasing you and, forcing the fight on you. Because if you keep pushing him and you keep getting close to him, he might get connected. Do his best to keep his chin down just a little bit. If he can able to do some of that head movement and be able to block it, no problem. But with the chin up and the power like Gervonta, it's going to be very difficult. So you really do not want to keep that chin up. You really do not want to, like I said, really don't want to bang, because I feel like Gervonta does have a little bit more power than Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is really good, and Ryan Garcia is a knockout artist himself. He has stopped a really good, quite a few good opponents. And Ryan Garcia actually knows what it's like to have adversity. See, the thing with Gervonta's never really had adversity. Gervonta, the fights usually go his way, and he continues. You know, when things go your way, go according to plan, he's able to, it feels good, I guess you could say. He's able to really like, hey, you know what? Things are going to plan. No, I don't have to really have any kind of complication or whatever the case may be. You know, with Ryan Garcia had been down against Luke Campbell, I believe his name was. And when he got put down, he got back up. He knew what it was like. Like, damn, I touched the canvas. Damn, I might be losing this fight. So now what I got to do is actually fight harder and fight stronger and fight smarter. And he was able to do that, and he was actually able to finish his opponent. So that's something that you got to really keep in mind. Ryan Garcia knows what it's like to be behind. Ryan Garcia knows what it's like to be down, and Ryan Garcia knows how to fight and stay strong and stay focused and not lose his composure. We do not know where Gervonta is. You know, we don't know if like he's ever been down on the ground, or when the fight's not going his way, will he lose his composure? Will he lose the game plan? Will he like completely just, will the whole spotlight of him not really quite winning play a big factor in him? We just do not know. All those things remain to be seen. So Ryan Garcia really needs to do his best to stay on the outside, use his length, use his reach and advantage, and be able to really, really pick apart Gervonta from the outside. That's my personal opinion on how he could win. Now, as far as Ryan Garcia goes, if he does win, I don't think Ryan Garcia is going to be at 135 anymore. This is a catch weight of 136. I feel like he's going to be more comfortable at 140. And in that 140 division, we have Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, he is fighting for the light. I believe it was the light welterweight, I guess you could say, light welterweight. Super lightweight, whatever the case may be, whatever name you want to use. The 140-pound championship belt. He's going after that against, I can't remember the name right now. Excuse me, I'm drawing a blank on that. But Teofimo Lopez is challenging for that belt, challenging for that strap, and he is going to possibly challenge Ryan Garcia for that. That would actually be a great fight if you really think about it. If Teofimo just so happens to get a victory, Teofimo gets a belt, now you got Ryan Garcia who possibly has a victory over Gervonta. That's a big, big mega fight too. Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan Garcia, sign me up 100%. 100%. Now, what if he loses? Again, like I mentioned, you never know. What could be in the clause? You could be a rematch clause in there, so we could possibly see this again. I will not mind seeing this again. I will not mind seeing this 3 times. I would love to see a trilogy. When's the last time we actually got to see a really good trilogy in boxing? Think about it. Possibly the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, but that really necessarily really wasn't a trilogy. It wasn't like these guys were going back and forth with each other. But at the end of the day, I would love that to happen. Really would love that to happen. And if he doesn't, well, again, like I said, he has a lot more things he wants to do at 140. 135 isn't really his weight class that he wants to do anymore. Well, his catch weight is 136. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. But, guys, at the end of the day, I am very excited for this fight. I am very pumped to see this fight. I cannot wait. This is the beginning of boxing. Hopefully, we can get more fights back. Hopefully, we can get more fighters fighting each other when we want to see them, not way later. Guys, please let me know in the comments of what do you think about this fight. Let me know who you think is going to win. Let me know if you're going to be watching. Just let me know. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.